Good afternoon po. Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, Payawing Gubat, Sorsogon. Today is November 19, 2025. Scheduled for today's pre-bid conference is for the contract 25FL0125, construction of school building, Bulusan National High School, Bulusan, Sorsogon, Bulusan, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's pre-bid conference are the following: David Pelmea, Vice Chairman; Levi Puradi Jr., Back Chairman;
Present.
Erwin S. Ensenares, Back Member;
Present.
Joanna C. Calagos, Back Member;
Present.
Chloe F. Baleros, Back Member;
Present.
Jessalu R. Amelia, TWG. Mr. Chair, for today's pre-bid conference, meron na pong tayo quorum and wala pong present na contractor.
Okay, since the quorum was declared, this pre-bid conference is now called to order. The agenda for this pre-bid meeting are as follows: basic contract data, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for the preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, summary proceedings including bid bulletins to be issued, questions, comments from bidders, and replies back and other representatives of procuring entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Jessalu Amelia.
For the basic contract data, the contract ID is 25FL0125 with contract name, Construction of School Building, Bulusan National High School, Bulusan, Sorsogon. The contract location, Bulusan, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract is 63,282,000. For the description, construction of 9.5 meters by 55 meters 3-story 15 classroom school building, including ICT and science lab. The contract duration is 298 calendar days with a predetermined unworkable days of 36 calendar days. The source of fund is FY 2025 General Appropriations Act or GAA under the Basic Education Facilities Fund, BEF. The major category of work for this contract is the BICWPL CDP or buildings, constructions with piles, low-rise, concrete frame, driven piles 1 to 5 stories. The cost of bidding documents is 50,000. The date of receipt of bids will be on December 2, 2025 until 10 a.m. and the date of opening of bids is also on December 2, 2025 at 10 a.m. immediately after closing receipt of bids. For the scope of works, the construction of 9.5 by 55 meters, 3 stories, 15 classroom, school building including ICT and science lab, mostly built with concrete using exposure D and velocity of 340 kph. And masonry with PWD ramp with handrails, stair wall 5 meters width, micropiles with security grills for front and jalousie windows, and steel casement at the rear portion. Fire protection system, water pumping system with cistern tank, pole-mounted transformer, and construction of perimeter fence, including stone masonry at the rear portion. Ito po yung kanyang site development plan and the vicinity map. Upon validation, ito po yung kanyang digital photos. The proof of ownership, the geotechnical investigation conducted by AM Geo Consult and Associates. Ito po yung kanyang perspective under Modified School Building Standards Plan 2018. Yung approved plans po, and the detailed architectural and engineering design plan. The elevation, the floor plan, the ground second floor plan, the third floor plan, and the roof deck floor plan.
Requirements of bidding documents. Ang mga documents po ito ay nakapost po sa DPWH websites and sa PGEPs to aid our contractors in preparation of their bids. Ang documents po ito ay instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, drawings, yan nga po yung mga plans, bill of quantities, and sample forms. Yan po ang bid data sheet. Downloadable po yan sa DPWH websites and sa PGEPs. special conditions of contract, bill of quantities. Lahat pong mga documents pong yun ay downloadable po sa DPWH websites and sa teachers. Please refer na lang po sa mga documents na yun para po sa pag-prepare ninyo ng bids. Minimum work experience requirement for key personnel. For key personnel po, project manager must have handled infrastructure projects, relevant experience, not applicable. Project engineer must be a DPWH accredited project engineer, relevant years of experience, not applicable. Materials engineer must be a DPWH accredited materials engineer, relevant experience, not applicable. Yun po. General conditions, general construction foreman must have handled similar projects. Safety and health officer must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. Minimum major equipment requirement. Dump truck, 1 unit. Payloader, 1 unit. Bulldozer, 1 unit. Motorized road grader, 1 unit. Backhoe, 1 unit. Vibrator roller, 1 unit. Water truck, pump or mix, 1 unit. Concrete pump, 1 unit. Truck mounted crane or model, 1 unit. As per Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017, requirement po ang minimum material testing equipment. Key points, lowest calculated responsive bid or the LCRB will be used as the criteria for award. The amount of the advance payment is 15% of the contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payment shall first be charged against the advance payment until the latter has been fully exhausted up the option of the procuring entity. The contractor shall submit the program of work of the procuring entity within 10 calendar days of delivery from the notice of the award. The amount to be withheld for late submission of an updated program of work is 63,282 pesos only. Submission and receipt of bids. Bid validity po natin ay 120 calendar days. Sinusunod pa rin po natin ang 2-envelope system. The first envelope containing the eligibility and technical documents, while the second envelope contains the financial proposal. Lahat po yan ay nakasubmit sa isang envelope. For sealing and marking, original bid, ang original technical po, lahat, at saka original financial, dapat po nakasubmit din, nakalagay din po sa original bid. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, receipt or back, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before date and time of opening of bids. Ganun din po sa copy ng ating next slide po, ng ating copy 1. Lahat po yan, ang copy 1 and next slide po, ang copy 1 and original bid ay dapat po na-enclose po sa isang envelope. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient back, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. For unsealed, unmarked bid envelopes shall not be accepted. Not compressed or password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked bids shall be accepted. Improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted. Submission and receipt of bids, modification of bids. Modifications shall be submitted before the deadline of submission of bids. The bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. However, it shall submit a new bid equally sealed, properly identified, linked to its original bid, and marked as modification. For withdrawal of bid, letter of withdrawal must be received prior to the deadline of submission of bid, submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and the expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic submission of bid, bidders shall send another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as modification of the one of the previously submitted. The time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission. Next slide po. Next slide po. Mabalik po. So, address na ano. Yan. Submission and receipt of bid. For manual submission of bid, yan po ay sa Back Secretary Office, DPWH Sorsogon Second BDO, Barangay Payawin, Lubat, Sorsogon. For electronic submission of bids, yan naman po sa electronic bids _Sorsogon 2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Eligibility criteria. The following persons and entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding of infrastructure projects. Must be a duly licensed Filipino citizen for sole proprietorship, partnership duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities forming themselves into a joint venture as Section 52.4.2.1 of RA 12009. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects within the provided for under treaty or international or executive agreement as provided in Section 4 of IRR of RA 12009. Bidders must have a valid pickup license, must have a single largest completed contract, at least 50% of the ABC. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance to be issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or similar performance and monitoring system. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience, provided that the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC of the contract. We encourage our bidders to enroll in the civil work application to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. However, if the bidders have not yet enrolled in the CWA, these are the documents they have to submit. Class A legal documents, PhilJOB certificate of registration, mayor's permit, DTI, tax clearance, pickup license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, statement of the single largest completed contract, computation of the NFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Bid security in the form of cash or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee 2%. Surety bond, callable above demand 5%. Or bid securing declaration. Please be guided po ng GPPB Resolution No. 16, 2020 sa format po ng ating bid securing declaration. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units, owned, leased, or under purchase agreement. Omnibus sworn statement, duly notarized, revised from GPPB Resolution No. 16, 2020. Yan po ang ating checklist. Please refer na lang po dyan. Eligibility and requirements for Class A. Tungkol po ito sa tax clearance. Submission of DIRC for renewal of tax clearance. Tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of a valid tax clearance requirement. Submission of a provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance as per GPPB Resolution No. 1, Series of 2014. Dapat po may valid po kayong tax clearance. Next slide po. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. The statement of the bidder of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, must be submitted. The statement shall include all information and required in the bidding documents. Statement of single largest completed contract. The bidder must have completed a single largest completed contract. Na-discuss na natin yan. Yes po, na-discuss na po yan. Ito po ang ating panibagong bid securing declaration. Next slide po. Please be guided po ulit ng ating omnibus sworn statement as per IRR of RA 12009. Yan na po ang dapat na malaman yan. Second envelope shall contain bid forms, summary bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment. Cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule. and other documents required in the bidding documents. For the detailed evaluation of bid, to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids, ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. The method and non-discretionary criteria shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. The result shall be contained in the abstract of bids. In case of discrepancies, bid prices versus bid price inverse, bid price inverse shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity. The unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. Stated total price versus the actual sum of the prices of component items. The actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminders po sa ating mga bidders of the no contract rule, prohibition of communication with bidders from bid evaluation until award of contract. Next slide po. For post-qualification, to determine whether the lowest calculated bid that complies with the and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents to be declared as the lowest calculated responsive bid. The method and non-discretionary pass or fail criterion shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. Common reasons for bidders disqualification. Sinabay po namin to kasi po meron po nangyayari dito sa amin. First po is late submission of bids without valid reason. Submission of patently insufficient bids. Strike po tayo nito. Submission of expired certificate, field job certificate of registration, patent, and membership. Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae. Failure to submit required bid form. Yes po, minsan po may ginagamit pa po na luma na bid form. Gagamitin na po natin ang panibagong bid form. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provision and statements on the required bid forms. Minsan, submission of bid form, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Nomination of key personnel of a profession of different from what is required in the bidding documents. Minsan po, nag-nominate po tayo ng project engineer which is not accredited, pero po rin-required po, especially po sa contract na ito, na dapat po accredited ang ating materials engineer. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series 2012. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment. Yan po, kumisan may nagkukulang po na proof of ownership ng ating mga equipment na pinapledge sa contract. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, and purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Insufficient NFCC, insufficient SNCC. Thank you.
Any questions or clarifications?
None.
Since we have no more matters to discuss, this pre-bid conference is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.